Hi, everybody. So I wanted to give a little short update on your first week of classes. Hopefully you've watched the welcome video where I went over the course syllabus. In this video, I want to talk about what you're going to be doing this week, which is chapter 14, kinetics. So the first subject in this course is a study of kinetics. And so before I look at that, I want you to just to remind you that in the course syllabus, you have, my contact information. Of course, this is in Blackboard. And so here's the contact information you have to get in hold of me. If you do want to do office hours of some sort, we can do it on Zoom. And, that's how you'll pretty much get going on communicating with me. Okay. The next thing I wanted to say is that, let's see if I can look at this over here. Is to talk a little bit about the videos. So the videos are available on YouTube, and for the most part, they're all produced, everything through chapter 17 and a little bit into 18 is produced. So over the rest of the summer, I'll finish 17, 18 and 19. So let me show you the chapter 14 videos. So this is chapter 14, which is kinetics. So this is on my YouTube channel. And the first one you're going to want to watch is 14.1 kinetics, which talks about reaction rates. So this is lining up with the ALEKS homework, and it's also lining up with the ebook, the Burge ebook. So this is the first one. So when you're getting ready to do the ALEKS problems, you could watch this video. It's about a half hour, 35 minutes. When you're doing the second section problems, 14.2, which is dependence of reaction rate on reactant concentration, that video is a little bit longer, about 41 minutes. And, some of them are a little bit longer than others, but those first 5 videos, those are the ones you want to look at when you're doing the, I'm going to cover some of the theory, but I'm also going to go over a lot of problem solving there. Okay. So that's chapter 14. That's your first topic. And I just wanted to also bring up the ALEKS program. So you probably used it for General Chemistry 1. If you didn't, then that means you're gonna have to register and all that kind of stuff. But most of you, I think, actually did. So what I'm gonna do is just quickly put this into, I'm trying to do it quickly. I'm gonna put it into the student view so that I can show you how you go about it. I have another video on YouTube that you can look at, which shows more detail, but might as well just show it here too. Okay. All right. So this is, essentially once you get registered and you're in the course and all of that, so you're going to see something like this, which is going to, it's going to have you go through an introduction to it, right? So I'm going to skip it here. I have the ability to skip it here, but you want to go through that. And then the next thing they're going to do is have you go through a tutorial. Doesn't look like I can skip that as easily. Let's see. So you want to go through that tutorial, unless you, again, if you've already done it from General Chemistry 1, that's fine. You don't need to do it again. So I'm going to skip that here as well. And same thing, how to use the calculator. And it's designed to be like a game. Then you're going to do your knowledge check. This is where you're going to do some problems. And, most of these problems on the knowledge check, you're probably not going to know how to do. They're just going to be a little bit too advanced because you haven't taken the course before. If you have taken the course before, then, you might know some of this stuff. You might know a lot of it, right? But you want to do it seriously. Just, if there is a problem you think you can solve, try to solve it. If you really don't know how to do it, just, you're going to click, I don't know. And, that, again, that may happen quite a bit. So I'm just going to run through this, a couple of these. So if you take a look at these problems, what you'll see is, this is actually a kinetics problem right here. So you may not know anything about kinetics. So you just say, hey, I don't know. If you do, you can try that problem, okay? I don't recommend like trying to research it to figure out how to do the problem. It's not really going to help you much. Same thing. Now, you may know some of the pH calculations if you've taken some general bio or anatomy and physiology. You may have covered how to calculate the pH. This is POH. So you may or may not know how to do that. And same thing, there's just going to be these problems and you may or may not know how to do them, but just, be as honest as you can. And so I'm going to select here, I'm skipping it. So I'm going to select that. And okay, so I know 1% of the course, right? So this, when we talk about the pie, this is the pie, ideally by the end of the course, this will be completely filled out, meaning you know everything. And, so there's kinetics and equilibrium is this one right here. Acids and bases, I guess, is this one right here, maybe. And then entropy, and actually it looks like there's 4 categories here, but there's only 3 over here. So I guess kinetics and equilibrium is 2 of these. So in any case, there's 86 topics total. And, you're going to get through all those topics throughout the course, right? So, once you're ready to go, what you do is you start my path, right? And you start working on it, right? So start my path, and you're going to start working through these problems, okay? So the thing about the ALEKS is that you have to do it 3 times correctly. So every time if you get the first one right, you get 2 points. If you do the second one right, you get 2 points. And if you do the third one right, you get another point. You're done with that one. And then it goes into your pie is complete, right? And some of them have multiple parts. So again, the vast majority of these problems are in those videos that I've solved, right? So I've solved a lot of these problems there. Maybe not 100% of them, but probably, out of the 86 topics, I've probably done 80 of them anyway. So almost all of them. You can also keep in mind there are, you'll have access to the ebook. So if you want some explanation based on that, you can go to the ebook. There it is, textbook. So that's right there. So you have access to that, the ebook. And then you also do have explanations. Now, when you click on the explanation, obviously you're not going to get credit for getting that particular problem right. And they're going to give you a written explanation here. Now, some of the ALEKS written explanations are good. Some of them are not, to be honest with you. And they're not always the same as my approach that I'm doing. So it's up to you to figure out, how to do these problems. But you have the ALEKS explanation, you have the ebook explanation, and then you have my explanation on the videos as well. Okay, so you have all that. And then, you go back to practice and you just start doing these problems. Okay, so good luck with that. Let's see if there's anything else. So I've covered the ALEKS. I haven't talked about the labs yet, and that's kind of intentional. I want the priority for the first few days for you to really work on doing the ALEKS homework problems, getting those topics done, because you also have, exams coming up, right? So once a week, you're going to have an exam. And so let me close that one. I'm going to try to see if I can show this to you here. Here we go. Okay, so let's come back and bring this up. There we go. So down here, what you're going to see is an assignment list, right? So there's your assignment list. So if you click on the assignment list, what you'll see, this is the objective. So those are the chapter 14 problems. So the reason it's 0% is because I haven't really solved any problems yet. 16 topics, right? You do have an exam 1. That's on chapter 14. Okay. So that test needs to be completed by June 30th at 11:59 p.m. You get 1 hour and 0 minutes to complete the exam. It's going to be 9 or 10 questions. I forget how many each one is. Some of them are 9, some of them are 10. So these are deadlines. These are fixed dates. So you can take it already. You could even start already if you wanted to, but you only have a week to take this exam. Okay. So make sure that you're doing those homework topics, right? So you're doing the objective with all the topics for chapter 14 so that you're prepared for that exam. Now, having said that, there are practice exams down here as well. These are not graded. You don't get graded for these. Are just practice. They're longer. Notice some of them I give you 3 hours to do them, but these are just practice for the regular exams. So instead of having 9 or 10 problems, it might have like 20 problems or something like that. So they are longer, but there are practice exams. Those ones you can do as many times. I mean, you can do it anytime you want to throughout the whole course is what I'm trying to say. But again, what I would do is finish all the topics for chapter 14, then try the practice exam. Again, the practice exam doesn't get graded. And then, by the 30th, you want to take that exam 1. Okay. So if I click on that, okay, so it's going to warn you, right? It's going to say, hey, June 30th, there's your deadline, 10 questions. So the first one's 10 questions. Once you start the test, you have to finish it before you can work on anything else. So you gotta do it, right? You'll want to have a calculator, you want to have paper and all that kind of, be prepared. I would have, references that you might need for that, textbook, that kind of stuff. Okay. You don't have access to the ebook during the exam, but if you have a physical copy of a textbook, you can use that, of course. Okay. It is pretty short. You only get an hour. Now, the exams are not the hugest part of your grade. So each, all together, the exams are like 24% of your grade. Whereas the homework assignments, the objectives are like almost 3 times that. It's like 65%. I think it's 65, maybe it's 65 and 20 or something like that. So each exam is only worth like 4 or 5% of your course grade. And there's 10 questions. So each question is only worth about 0.4% of your course grade. So they're not, doing poorly on one exam is not going to kill your grade. Do poorly on all of them, that's going to affect your grade. But the homework is the main thing. So hopefully, if you do all the homework, you should do fine on the exams. I wouldn't worry about it. You'll do fine if you do all the homework, but the trick is to do all the homework. So again, you have access to the videos and you want to do the objective, then you can do a practice exam. You have the ebook and you have the explanations on ALEKS as well. And then you're just going to kind of crank through this once a week, right? It's a fast pace. It's once a week, but by the end, you should have 6 exams done and you should have the pie complete, and then you'll be fine. You'll have a pretty good accomplishment here. Okay. So let me stop share there. And again, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. And I will try to post a video once a week. Take care.